What is up, ladies and gentlemen? I am Daffy Duck here once again, and I'm back for some more yet again for the likes of the Maxi Toys videos. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to more Let's Play of Super Monkey Ball Step and Roll for the Nintendo Wii. So last time we have managed to go through World 3, which is Champion Sea, and it's a nice little peaceful environment if you couldn't tell for that specific underwater themed world. And today, for this particular episode, is the fact that we're going to be hit on to probably my favorite world in this game, because it was new and also is very unique at the same time, because we have never been onto that specific place in the Monkey Ball game before. Well, I don't know if Bubbly Washing Machine from Monkey Ball 2/Deluxe will count, but either way, we're about to be hit on to Far East, which is, as you can clearly see on screen, it's basically based around China, which is pretty cool if you ask me, because either way, until when it gets to the point until 2 years time, that China will able to actually be hosting the next Winter Olympics in Journey Forms of 2022 at Beijing. So even then, yeah, the same old stuff as you remember, so either way though, we'll just jump straight into this particular world. Then the actual final character we're going to be selecting for this entire Let's Play, and that appears to be none other than Gongon himself, which, you know how it sounds, basically he plays out exactly like how it does it from before. I'm pretty sure we might actually guarantee to get ourselves the forms of the opportunity that if we come across into certain stages with bumpers on them, well, we'll point it out whenever we get to it though, so either way though, we'll just save that up until later on. So anyways though, as you can clearly see on screen right now, that the 3-star rankings when it comes to forms of the difficulty rating, it gets a little bit more tricky and difficult. Well, I won't say World 4 wasn't as nearly as hard as the final world in the game, but I'm pretty sure enough though until World 5 and 6 and 7 are definitely going to be a lot more difficult. But either way though, we'll have to save that until likely later on throughout. And also, as you can clearly tell, most of these levels every now and then is going to get much longer than in forms of how it does it on Banana Blitz to me. Well, despite the fact that we got ourselves extra amount of time during the forms of Banana Blitz and stuff like that, like certain levels took about let's just say 2 minutes to able to complete it, and also same applies for one of those levels contains like a half a minute to finish, and also during forms of the past few games like Monkey Ball 1, 2, Deluxe, and especially Monkey Ball Jr. Does manage to take you about like 30 seconds to complete the level and stuff like that. And for the majority of every single levels in this game, it's gonna be most likely all of these emphasis on, well, 60 seconds in every single levels, which can be same applies for, you know, 3D as well as Banana Splits on the PlayStation Vita, but either way though, it might be seems a little bit obvious for that point, because, you know, it does encourage you to able to utilize the Wii balance board until you're able to realize about the fact that you have to tilt your body to able to move the monkey ball itself, so yeah, that come across as such. I don't know if it's just me, but I'm pretty sure that for what I've hear Gongon's voice feels a little bit too weird in this game, because, or sounds a bit too weird, because I'm pretty much used to with the tougher gorilla, as you remember from the old school games like Monkey Ball 1 and 2, and especially noticeable with Deluxe as well, if you want to count that. But everything else though, unless if you would want to count Junior version of that, but not the Engaged version, because, or the Engaged game, because, well, as far as I can tell, because of how the fact that let's not talk about that right now, because even then we've not actually discussed on that in the majority of the Let's Plays of the Monkey Ball series as of now. So, anywho though, a few things we want to explain about this actually is the fact that today's day is the forms of, according to this particular uploading schedule for the forms of this part, is the fact that today's day is the forms of the 10th of February today. And yes, the My Little Pony Rainbow Road Trip DVD on the UK has now just recently released today. So even then though, I'm quite happy to able to have that right now, because it has been about a couple of weeks or a couple of months since when it originally planned for the actual release date in mind, but it keeps on delaying that and during 2 times in order to actually just to release it properly. Well, I don't know if it's just me, but either way though, I'll talk more about it whenever we're able to get on with the next part, which should be by the forms of World 5 and all that stuff. So yeah, you probably get the idea for that, so... But aside from that, though, sadly, there's not much else to talk about. So either way, oh yeah, because we've now got Rainbow Road Trip, the TV special of any sort, I guess the only things it needs left now is, of course, the final 2 seasons in a DVD compilation, such as, well, of course, Season 8 and also Season 9, and that will be the whole entire set of Friendship is Magic era, because, well... Still, I really enjoyed the actual, the Friendship is Magic era since, 2012. Well, I was a little bit skeptical at first in 2012, but at the end of 2012, I was actually into it. So, despite the fact that usually it's all made of, well, of course, it's obviously based off on the target audiences for, well, kids, obviously, and it's also for girls only, so, pretty obvious, but the only thing that makes it special to me is the fact that it does brings us a lot of references to the other media, such as, well, of course, Metal Gear Solid, and also same applies to some of the fan-made characters, or some of these recognizable characters during the forms of specifically from the other TV series and stuff, like Rick and Morty, and also same applies for the actual gun barrel sequence from James Bond's 007 and stuff like that, which is always cool. And also same applies for that one episode that usually inspires to me from the likes of Mario Kart, except with no item slots or no item system, and plus it's all just a song rather than just the actual racing action and stuff like that, which is a little bit disappointing, but either way though, I really don't mind about it too much. Well, I have to admit though right away, but either way though, that's just usually how it goes. So, aside from everything else though, well, to be honest with you, there's not much else I can usually decide to talk about, because either way, that we're actually now onto the halfway point of the game right now, because relatively speaking, we're actually on the halfway point on Far East at this point right now. In fact, there was also a Far East world during the forms of Super Monkey Ball Sudoku Edition, which is usually it's now going to be on, well, it's already on in the Sega Forever compilation series, or in this case the actual Sega Forever series, which is usually a free download, but of course you need to pay like £2 to able to get rid of the forms of advertisements and stuff like that, which I technically already did. I don't know if I can able to do that Let's Play of that game, honestly, although let me know in the comments below if that we can able to do it the actual Let's Play of another Super Monkey Ball game, but this time around on the smartphones, which either way, because I still have the ability to able to capture footage on iPhone devices and stuff like that, which I was originally trying to do that with Sonic 1 and 2, but on, you know, with the Christian Whitehead version, but unfortunately for me though, we've already done that, these 2 Let's Plays specifically, on the forms of the HD TVs and stuff like that, so there's no point able to redo that particular kinds of stuff, so... But yeah, you probably get the idea for that, because yeah, back in 2010 actually, which is again a decade old, usually the actual game is usually originally calls it Super Monkey Ball 2, not to be confused as the GameCube title of Super Monkey Ball 2, with the same name, but with, of course, the modern style as opposed to the classic style. So either way, if you managed to download the regular Super Monkey Ball 2 back in the day, you can't access to this. But thanks to the forms of Sega Forever series, they did at least manage to give us the ability to purchase Super Monkey Ball Sudoku Edition for free, which this means not only do you able to access to the second half of these worlds based off from Banana Blitz, which there are Jumble Jungle, Pirates Ocean, Corporate Caverns, and also Sinking Swamp, and finally Ultra Heaven. Not only that, you might actually come across into yourselves into one of the worlds that is usually based off from this game, Step and Roll, which is of course Far East, which I think that will be the only world that they can able to put up with that specific stuff, because everything else in the majority of the worlds in this game, it feels pretty much slightly similar to Banana Blitz, except, well, of course, with the lack of boss battles, and as well as from that, no jump button support. So, I totally get that because of the actual challenge and everything, so I guess that makes it a little bit obvious for that specific solution I can usually just to top it off. Thankfully, Gong Gong wasn't nearly as heavy as the forms of how it does it on Banana Blitz for sure, and especially noticeable that because we don't have a jump button to begin with, so thankfully, he plays out pretty much exactly similar to the forms of other characters for sure. Alright, here we go with the last level in Far East, which is basically a countdown, which basically we need to run away from that specific collapsing bridge and stuff. So hopefully we will able to speed things up a notch, and then we can able to hopefully bust out these little bumpers and oh. That's the only downside of Gong Gong in this game though. I get it because they try to bring back the classic elements to the table, but I just wish if Gong Gong were able to bust out of these little bumpers like he normally did ever since in Banana Blitz. But unfortunately, because we are pretty much lacking with those abilities in mind, this means that all four of those monkeys played very identically to each other. So as a result, we can no longer bust through those bumpers anymore, which is sad all in all, but it doesn't bother me that though, because there aren't any bumpers around in every single levels as far as I can see about this point. But either way though, we'll get into more into that until in World 5 and beyond. So, and here's the theme song of this particular world after we beat this world is Sekaru, which is vocaled by Hotaru Meiti, which I do apologize for that specific Japanese name by the way, because I don't understand Japanese people all that much, we'd have to be honest for this point right there. So, and the actual tilting table this time around is actually very unique, because it's actually inspired by Chinese kind of, you know, slide doors and stuff, or some sort of like a cool picture frame or something like that. So we only got one circular hall, which is actually inspired by the sun, and also the actual mountain hall, which is actually inspired by the snowy mountains and stuff. You know, just like how you normally feel like if you explore through China and stuff like that, even for, you know, the Road of the Hill. I can't really pronounce that very well because I haven't really looked upon that much specific details on China, basically, so yeah, that's what I can say about it. But I will say, the actual theme music on that world, it does manage to really fit really well, especially consists of how the fact that we're going to be constantly going to be hearing Chinese-based instruments and all that stuff, which I think is actually swell. And I think that's as far as I can say with Far East, and it's probably the most uniquest themed world in the whole entire game. Of course, they'll still reuse the Chinese themed world again until Super Monkey Ball 3D, but it's usually an entirely different name, and it's also an entirely different story, which we'll get to that until whenever we do that Let's Play at some point, but not now though, because we're gonna have to focusing on other sort of Let's Plays to deal with right here, so either way, we'll just have to cope with it as it goes by. So, now, as you can see on the actual high, you know, the actual high score count, I haven't got that much points, which, because of this though, back in during when this game was first announced, or even first released, I just simply don't care about these staff credits back then, but the more I've played it right now, I can definitely see why. While it's a little bit entirely redundant to able to actually just to realize about the fact that when you're trying to skip those credit sequence, but of course you can't, because otherwise you have to sit for that specific stuff. Unless if you're trying to skip those staff credits by simply pressing the home button and just press reset, but otherwise don't do that, because otherwise you're stuck with the forms of the same progression as before, and also your new record count won't be able to entering any forms of the name entry sequences, which I think it kind of does the same thing for Banana Blitz as well, so I guess that makes it a little bit obvious for that similarities as far as this point in time. So, yeah, I actually really enjoyed the Far East as the actual world. It's pretty fun, all in all, even though it kind of reminds me of Chunan from the likes of Sonic Unleashed, but except the fact that we're not into nighttime and stuff like that, which is always kind of a cool thing in my book, because otherwise though, I kind of wish if the next new Mario game, specifically the 2D Mario game, will have the world like this. Well, technically they've already did, which is of course newer Super Mario Bros. Wii as the forms of the ROM hack and stuff like that, which I think that world is pretty cool though, but it's a shame for me because I didn't seem to able to try the game out for myself, which I wish I'd love to, but of course it does require some complex modifying stuff, which I probably can't do that at the moment because it makes things a little bit of a dragged on to able to get used to with that. So, anyways, I think we're pretty much getting things off here at this point in time. So join me next time on Let's Play Super Monkey Ball Step and Roll. It's the fact that we're going to be hit on to the forms of the 5th world, which appears to be Polo Festival, which is basically a snowy themed world. So yeah, see you guys on Wednesday. Later, fellas.